Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. AJ Rudo Blais coming to you live as the Avs win this one in overtime. They take it 2-1 over the Montreal Canadiens in a game that it feels good for dominance to get rewarded, I would say, for the most part. Really, the same sort of problems were creeping up on the Avs in this game, but they figured it out and got the job done. I'll leave it to AJ to give you the 60-second rundown.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
I don't remember, what was it, 90 seconds into
Something
the game?
like that, yeah.
Some dude from the Canadiens that I've never heard of outskates Eric Johnson to a... Yeah, Richard.
Richard. It's his first goal.
Yeah, Dick's first goal. Gives them a 1-0 lead as he outskates Eric Johnson to a spot. The Avs, from the start of the second period on, completely dominate the game. Don't get rewarded in the second period. Do get rewarded in the third period when Artturi Lehkonen ties it against his former team. They go into overtime after a sketchy couple of last few minutes there in regulation. Go into overtime, and the ultimate 3-on-3 result is you go from watching a puck sitting just on your goal line with the goalie not right there to being in the net at the other end of the ice thanks to Mikko.
Not bad.
Man, and talk about, like, at the end there, like, it was that mad dash for that puck from everybody.
Yeah.
That's what led to that odd man rush.
Yep. Everybody sent it.
Are we good? All right. See you guys later.
Yeah, done. We got to get home because of the snow.
You guys should see outside right now.
Just wanted to explain the dominance in the back second period and onward in this game. Avs gave up 12 shots in the first period. Montreal had 8 through the rest of the game.
Wow. Including overtime.
Including the one in overtime. Second period, 4 shots given up. Third period, 3 shots given up by the Avs. In reflection of that, the second period, the Avs had 19 shots on goal, 14 in the third period, and, of course, the game-winning shot in overtime.
To build on to that, too, 43-22 in scoring chances, only 10-9 in high danger. So really good job by both goaltenders in the high dangers, with the high danger, but 43 scoring chances is a pretty solid number.
That's better than pretty solid.
22 scoring chances would be the lowest number that a team averages in the NHL.
Yep.
So good defensive effort overall. You don't love how many high danger chances were available,
for sure,
including the one in overtime, but also Alexander Georgiev.
Yep.
He's not going to be our king in the game, but that's a guy that continues.
He only gives up one.
He had a disastrous road trip. That 1-4 road trip that they went on. 1-3 road trip they went on, and then they came back home and got punched in the face by Boston. And ever since then, Georgiev has been back to being the Georgiev we saw at the start of the year.
I'll take a leaky goal in the first over third period goals any day of the week.
Well, and he gets 60% of a breakaway goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that's literally the only goal that he has given up in 2 games.
Yep.
is a leaky
breakaway
90 seconds into a game.
Yep.
It's 1 goal given up in 2 games.
And since you've so nicely brought us back around to the start of this hockey game,
Hello.
not going to have a whole lot of negatives tonight. Don't ever want to dunk on one player too much. It was a rough one for Eric Johnson tonight.
And Sam Girard.
Liar. I don't think that one's really on Sam Girard at all.
All right.
You're going to come across the set. He was bad.
I will throw Charles Hudon at you.
The thing is, with EJ, the skating just isn't there like it used to be. And that's pretty much what led to this goal, right? He's floating on the far side of the ice and just it's this weird situation when players get old, right? Because they need to understand that they're losing a step and make reads differently than they have for their entire careers. A spot that's normally where, I can get back is now a spot where he can't get back anymore. So it's a bit unfortunate for EJ on that part. But these things happen. I do think you need better out of EJ. Generally, he had a couple of slides that weren't great tonight. His offense just doesn't exist right now. It's tough.
That breakaway, like you were saying, he was just out of position, and he can't recover that anymore.
Yep.
I
don't know. It's unfortunate, but you need smarter decisions from EJ there to help the Avs. Obviously, it worked out okay. You're fine with it in the end, but in the moment, definitely not good enough.
Yeah.
AJ, I'm going to ask you this question because I've asked it before. My responses were pretty unconcerned about it. Is there anything to the Avs starting a little bit slow in these games lately?
Yeah, they're missing a guy like Nathan MacKinnon who helps them set tones in games early on.
Yeah.
Like coming out in the first shift, losing the faceoff, tracking a dude down, and going and getting a scoring chance 19 seconds into a game. And that gets the whole bench vibing and blah, 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 blah. Like, missing the impact that top line has on a game where they get off to such a crazy good start. I do think that it's hurting them. That said, there's no real excuse here for them to continue to come out. And really, as a team, it wasn't like a super slow start. It wasn't like the Canadiens were buzzing and dominating them and any of that shit. It was really a lot more of Erik Johnson just kind of lost track of a guy, and a guy made a better play than him. Yep. And that was it. And that's the best scoring chance that either team had the entire game.
It was a great breakout by Montreal there.
Yeah.
It was a quick out off the boards.
Nice play.
Yep.
Gerard gets caught on a little bit of no man's land because he's not really defending anything.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't know that Johnson's
has abandoned his post.
Johnson's on the other side of the face-off dot on the other side of the ice there.
The Johnson is like wildly out of position. Yeah. And Gerard is like, well, I can try to do something here. I can try and back way off of it.
But
and entice that guy to skate, or he's gonna do what he did.
Yeah,
and so that's a tough play. That's a tough spot for G to be in. But that play really is like Erik Johnson just gets beat more than anything else.
Yep.
Well, and he almost gets back too. Like he was close.
It felt like he could have made a better play on the guy when he came back. He seems like he closed the gap and then kind of just whacked him with his stick and fell off him. I don't know. Did you want more there, AJ?
Sorry, I was paying attention to my wiggly ass microphone.
I know. EJ, the actual play on the guy when he gets back, did you want more there?
Oh, God, yeah.
It felt a little weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go with a comparison.
How are we gonna come up with the 11th love line?
I was gonna go with a comparison and decided to gear that one down. Really, just did not provide an adequate amount of resistance in that situation.
Agree.
To be honest with you, I would prefer that he just
takes his skates out,
give him the old fucking tug, and make him go through thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because in a breakaway, I just got to go. I don't have time to do any of this. I got whatever. A guy like that who's never scored in the NHL.
Put him
in
on
that
a
situation. You put him in a penalty shot situation. He's going to think about it. And
icing the kicker.
Well,
it's exactly the same theory.
Given NHL reffing, who knows if they even give him a penalty shot?
I would have absolutely given him a little nut tug and just seen how it went.
I would have
because he didn't do
stick.
shit,
there it is.
Stick to the back of the
I knew you were going to get the 11th love language. In there.
That's like, what do you mean, man? That's physical touch. That's like the
first love.
That's one of the first 7, bro.
And you know, the other side of that, in the moment, I'm sure EJ's not thinking, well, they have the worst power play in the league, but it does happen to be true.
Yeah, honestly. Literally anything would have been better than...
Touching him and blowing up your own skates. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Of course, if he does something like that and the guy scores on a penalty shot, I could be sitting here saying, just
Yeah.
let him go.
Yeah, for sure.
He
Fair
didn't
enough.
have time to make a move. You know, like it could very easily build the narrative from that angle as well. So it's very easy from my seat to sit here and say, I want Erik Johnson to do more. Really what I want Erik Johnson to do is not lose the man in the first place.
True. They solve it at the source.
Be in front of the man.
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
play.
and
There you go.
then you know, like you're trying to instead of putting out a fire with a fire extinguisher that might be past its expiration date, you're just not setting it ablaze in the first place. You know?
Yep. Good ideas aren't formed 3 mistakes in. You're just down the hill at that point.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
From there, how do you feel about the Avs' defensive performance on a whole tonight? I know you talked about it. There were some high danger chances given up by Colorado,
Yep.
but on the
just
whole,
got danced by Kirby Doc. Yeah.
Yeah, low key bad tonight.
on the whole,
Face is low-key bad tonight.
Are you giving credit to the Avs' defense for the dominant possession, or are you giving credit to the Avs' offense for the dominant possession?
I think Colorado's turning it around over the last several games of shot suppression has far more to do with the forwards and their combination of the guy Nichushkin and Lehkonen and the forechecking pressure that they bring.
Sure.
Add in Rodriguez, of course. Their forechecking pressure, their ability to attack, their ability to reload in the offensive zone and win puck battles, to hem teams in. Because when you're playing offense, you're not playing defense. But also their ability to track back and be disruptive in their own zone is what makes this group of Avalanche just such a hard team defensively to deal with. Because, you add a Landeskog, you add a McKinnon into that, and, you push some of these guys like Comfort down, who's a good defensive player. It's really such a good all-around group. And one of the big reasons why you are talking about the Avalanche as, we wonder if they are on a path to repeating as champions. It starts with the way that the forward core helps on defense and the way that as a unit they make teams work for their offensive chances where, yeah, there are going to be some breakdowns because the Avs make aggressive mistakes because they're always trying to get that puck back as quickly as possible and then fly up the ice with it. You're going to make some aggressive mistakes, which will lead to some chances, but that's where you pay your goalie, and Alexander Georgiev is showing, like, once again, back on the path to this guy might be a real answer. And I think that combined with the way that they defend as a team, I'm not going to say it's the defensemen because there's more forwards than defensemen out there helping you
At any
play
given
defense.
time, yeah.
So you need those guys to come and help, and I think that's really what has elevated them defensively is the addition, that trio, Lehkonen, Nichushkin, and Rodriguez are all such quality two-way players that the floor of Colorado's play has gone up so much in the last week.
Well, and big ups to the coaching staff as Biggie's playing. But it's one of those things, too, is like the consistency of having these lines together for a little bit of, for a few games here, that they're gelling a little bit because they are playing that really, really hard forechecking game. Everyone knows where everyone's at.
Yeah.
And it's paying off now, right? Like at the beginning, there was some big gaps going in it because you're not really understanding what the other guy's doing on your line. But now that they've been playing together, buying into the system that the coaches have put together, you can tell it's hard to play against.
Yeah. Would you say Jared Bednar is Big Papa?
I was going to say the same thing.
My man, we vibing tonight. I had to turn it down a little during that watch along, but
You were popping off on the watch along
Yeah,
a little
you
bit.
Look, man, that Christian Dvorak joke was great.
It was a high level joke.
My joke was better
Okay,
about Rantanen's stick.
I'm good with it. I'll give it to you, man.
Where do you, where do you draw the line when it comes to games like this and frustration with their inability to finish and quality play? Because the facts of the numbers are there, right? It had been over 100 minutes since the Avs' last regulation goal, and that was an empty netter.
Yep.
You have to add another 20-plus minutes onto that to get their last goal that beat a goaltender in regulation.
their last 5v5 goal remains the Alex Newhook goal.
Yep. So, not great.
It's not great. The finishing is just not there right now. It's not that they're not getting chances, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting quality looks at the net, but then they're just putting it in to a chest area every time. And I don't know what's going on there. Like, it just can't – this just can't keep up.
So, scale of 1 to 10, because that was your question. How frustrated are you? Scale of 1 to 10, how frustrated are you guys with lack of finish? Because I feel like I'm going to be on an island on this.
Very low.
So you're frustrated. So 10 is I'm so frustrated.
No, I'm asking, are you very
I'm
low?
going to rip that thing down and I'm going to throw it through the window.
I'm going to go – I'm like even keel with it, right? Like, because they are getting chances. It's a 5 because they're not finishing.
I think it's more like a 7 or an 8 for me, probably.
Oh.
Okay. Why?
Because
State your case.
Because of the length of games that this has been going on for at this point.
Okay.
That and like I'm not seriously concerned about it. I'm sure they will break out of it at some point. And I understand that the injuries are still leading to players playing up in the lineup from where they really should be. But you have to win hockey games. And thankfully the Avs did tonight.
They're 4-1.
They're playing great on this homestand. But they're making life harder than it has to be. And sure, some of that credit goes to the other goalies playing well. But you have to find ways to finish plays. It does not matter how pretty a play looks all the way up to the goal line if you don't put it in the goal.
Yeah.
It's where I'm at with it. It'll come. Again, I'm not worried about it. But let's go. It's been a few games. It's time to show up now.
I'm at a 1.
Yeah, I figured.
You know why I'm at a 1?
Because they won.
You made the case. You made the case for me.
Okay.
They're winning games.
Yeah.
And that for me, look, we've talked about this lineup. Is this lineup going to win playoff rounds? No, man.
Yeah,
they're not.
That's pretty clear.
They're not. But right now, they're good enough to beat teams like the Montreal Canadiens. They're good enough to beat the Philadelphia Flyers. They're good enough to outplay the Buffalo Sabres and have Tage Thompson dunk on them. They are good enough to scrape by varying quality of teams. The New York Islanders, pretty good team.
Yeah.
Didn't give up any goals to them. The thing about they've only got one regulation goal in X amount of time. All right, well, they give up not a super meaningful goal in that Nashville game in that third period.
And
I mean, it didn't end up mattering, so that's why I'm saying it's not.
It's whatever, yeah.
And so they gave up that goal. Then they had a shutout.
Yep.
Then they gave up one goal again tonight.
Yep.
You're talking about they've given up 2 goals in 3 games. So if you're going to go through a scoring drought, the way that you can continue to live through a scoring drought is to give the other teams one of their own.
Well, and
for me, that's why I'm not pressed about it, because if they're losing 4-0 and they're not even coming close, that lack of finish stands out a lot more.
It's
but
true.
They are just finding a way. We have talked about we went into the McKinnon injury and said this is now survival.
Yep.
Like the most of survival of survivals that it's going to be all year long. You just need to get through this. And this is now where they are. They had a 4-1 homestand without Nathan McKinnon while barely scoring goals. Would you like to see more?
And this is
absolutely, of course, but they're in the room that they're in. There is not a significantly higher ceiling of scoring for this group. They're going to struggle to get 3 every single game.
And this is
without Mac.
This is where my frustration with the lack of finishing is a very acute thing, because the rest of their game, it's real hard to have a lot of complaints about for Colorado right now. To me, it kind of feels like there's 2 levels here that are unsustainable. One, it's unsustainable for the Avs to play this well and not start scoring more. And 2, it's unsustainable for the Avs to keep winning games when they're scoring this little. So one of those is going to break. I'm confident that the Avs will start scoring more, even with this lineup, than they have been lately. And certainly once they start getting their superstars back.
I mean, how many high danger chances did they have tonight? It had to be
10.
It's 10.
10?
So
Pretty damn good.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a great number. It's not a bad number. It's a 10 high danger. Those are grade A chances.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's most of the time it's going to be relative.
For sure.
They give up 10.
Gave up 9. Yeah.
They gave up 9. They generated 10, so it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a big win. But for me, it's really like they did create 10 high danger chances. They just didn't finish them. You know, like you're not. That is not a thing that continues long term in the NHL. If you create 10 high danger chances, eventually, they will start to fall your way.
It's
shooting percentages on high danger chances are much higher. They're much closer to like a 15%, you know? And so when you score 1 of 10 or none of 10 for 2 or 3 games in a row, you know that there's going to be a game where you might score 5 of 10. As long as you continue to generate them, they will eventually go.
It's just it's just not worth losing sleep over.
I would
that's
be
for sure.
considerably more concerned if they weren't generating them in the first place. Like, you go back to that Bruins game where they generated 9
Nothing,
scoring chances. 9 scoring chances. The lowest number that they had generated in a single game since 2016, since December of 2016. That is a massive concern. Yeah. 9 scoring chances is unfathomably low. 10 high danger chances with 43 scoring chances. You are putting your hockey team in a position to win. In that, if you could just take those numbers and go game to game and say, this is more or less what we're going to produce, and then add in the excellent defensive results, add in the quality goaltending, they are going to win 70% of their hockey games.
And again,
flat out.
I don't know how you don't love almost everything else from this game. You have one pretty bad read from EJ.
The song.
And you have dominant play from the Avalanche, even if the puck didn't go in as often as you would like. So my frustration with the team, very, very low. It's just specifically the lack of finish that I'm frustrated.
Totally. And it's the only area of real criticism right now, other than they don't have a fourth line.
Yeah.
And my personal crusade of Martin Kaut continues to pay the price for the sins of being Martin Kaut.
Yep. Despite Jacob McDonald getting in the lineup for under 3 minutes of hockey again tonight.
German, not much better. I mean,
yeah, you're not wrong. I don't understand the system from the Avs there, and
I don't understand.
There's just no trust.
I don't understand the mindset of it.
Right,
Yeah.
you're just
It
willingly
makes no sense.
playing 10 forwards every night.
Because really, you can't call up Jean-Luc Foudy and Charles
and give
Hudon,
those dudes 6 minutes.
who were giving you an interesting 7 minutes a night.
Yeah.
9 minutes a night.
Yep.
They were generating shots on goal every single game for you. They were doing something other than skating around like a bunch of pissed off veterans who were being disrespected by their head coach.
I don't know.
For me, it's starting to get to the point of I really think Jared Bednar is a very, very good head coach. But this is a thing that I think is, unless he is pulling them aside and telling them ahead of time, this is kind of what we're expecting. This is where we are. Because even game situation stuff it doesn't fly with me for this level of ice time.
Game situations, you're still over the 6-7 minute mark, and then you're cutting because of game situations. There's no game situations where you're playing 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's
hey, good first shift. Now you sit down.
I would die to hear the conversations between the front office and Bednar of what's going on there. Is Bednar telling the front office, hey, I'm going to play this dude 3 minutes a night because I don't trust him?
And it should be noted that there's a roster freeze in place and stuff like that.
Of course.
So in the moment.
The Avs are limited by the guys that they have.
Yeah,
but
there is did the roster freeze start? I don't actually know what day
I think it starts Friday.
Yeah, it does start Friday. I didn't know what day it was. But there will be a roster freeze in place. But also, I'd have to look at cap considerations and all that stuff.
There's
as
a
well.
million different factors.
There are things that I'm blatantly ignoring in this conversation. So if I'm just being stupid, I'm open to that idea.
No, but I like the idea.
I do think it is a little disrespectful to established veterans. That and especially a guy like Jacob McDonald, co-captain of the Eagles, on a team that could absolutely badly use his help. That he's just not even getting played, and I mean, we're talking about Jacob McDonald's ice time like this is a meaningful thing
It's
here. But,
not. Yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's
of course-
meaningful for him.
No, but if you switch that fourth line out, like what you saw from Hudon, Foodie, Kaut as a line,
something you can actually play.
they played them and they played them minutes. I mean, they were not a lot, but it was 6-7 minutes a night, right?
Yeah. Sometimes more than that, even. On that note, we are brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. You can find some at your local liquor store. Use the Breck Beer Locator online to get on that. And be sure to get on the nice list. Still a little bit of time before Christmas to get some giveaways from Breckenridge Brewery. We're also brought to you by Illegal Pete's. You can go down to any Illegal Pete's location from 3 to 6 p.m. for happy hour. There are 12 in Colorado and Arizona combined. And you can get yourself a gift card, a little present for the holidays. You get a $100 gift card. They throw an extra $25 on there for free for you. So that's like 3 free burritos from Illegal Pete's, basically. You're going to want to jump in on that. Go get yourself some delicious Illegal Pete's. There's one just a couple blocks away from the bar. Sometimes a great place to go and vibe for a little while. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Second period of this game, a little more acutely. The Avs are a really good hockey team. Or certainly they are significantly better than the bottom feeders of the league like Montreal when it comes to process. There is little doubt the difference in caliber of possessing the puck tonight. I really, it's great from everyone. AJ, I know you mentioned the forecheck pressure from guys like Nuke and Leckie.
Yeah. Well, and they're working the neutral zone too.
For sure.
Just their two-way acumen.
But you see it trickle down the whole lineup. You saw multiple shifts of Ben Meyers just on top of dudes chasing down pucks in the offensive zone tonight.
That might be my personal love language. watching Ben Meyers become the guy that they were really kind of
hoping
for
he would be
at the start of the year, because he looked super bad, and then he goes down, he gets that core injury, and you were like, oh my God, did the Avs finally win a
Botch
major
one,
college
yeah.
UFA sweepstakes? And
He's not the dude, yeah.
he's a bum. And I've really loved Ben Meyers the last handful of games. Really loved him. And that difference is just, it's so good. It's so good down the lineup to have that guy helping.
Yeah.
I'd go the other way. The other guy in the lineup tonight, Blais Malgin. Thoughts?
Took a penalty. Not so hot.
Are we dinging Dennis Mulligan for that penalty?
Oh yeah, so we did talk about that, right? Like that happens 100 times a game.
How much of that is
for? It's because the Avs were up 2-0 in the calls.
Yeah. And it's the third period, and they are dying to give them one, and he is 15 feet from the ref, and the ref is like, this is justifiable.
Yeah.
I won't get dinged for this by the league after the game when I review it. And I can say I gave Montreal a power play.
But for someone that's comes in, doesn't really know the system yet, right? Just kind of fresh there. You saw some positive things from him in the defensive zone. Great quick breakout pass.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. So, things are clicking there.
Yeah.
It feels like this could be one of those trades that just needed to happen. Just maybe change of scenery, kind of like gets guys going.
Trade makes perfect sense from Colorado's perspective.
They were getting nothing. They were driving home.
Well, Toronto, I'm just like, okay.
But he hadn't been doing much up there either.
Not my pick, not my farm. So I don't give a shit.
But he hadn't been doing much up there either.
Yeah, but
so change of scenery again.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you're talking about a guy that was playing next to the traitorous swine and Mitch Marner, and going from that to we traded him straight up for Dryden Hunt is like, is Dryden Hunt going to take that job? Just kind of a weird like yo-yo there that they went on. And for me, I wondered, did Toronto put a claim in on Hunt? The Avs were higher in the order, and they got him.
And they just wanted their guy. Yeah.
Toronto wanted him, and they thought they called the Avs and were like, hey, you putting this guy on waivers? And the Avs were like, yeah. And Toronto's like, well, we don't want him going elsewhere. We'll give you this guy for him. And the Avs were like, yeah, we like that guy. He fits our profile. It's my personal conspiracy theory. Toronto put a waiver claim in on Hunt earlier this year, lost him to the Avs. Toronto wanted to make sure they got their man this time. That helps them in a way that their team specifically would want with that physicality.
All right.
And Malgin helps Colorado in that they right now certainly are looking for a guy that can maybe min-max
You can
their
at
offensive
least
punch
talk
a little
yourself
bit.
into some finish there.
You're saying maybe we're going from a guy that has a 2% chance of scoring to having a 7% chance of
Sure.
scoring. Where you're like,
Yeah.
it's not significantly better, but it's better. And right now, that's what we need.
Fair enough.
So that's where I am with that.
Regardless of whichever guy you're talking about, I don't know how you don't love the way the Avs played the second 2/3 of this game.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know how their complaints there beyond, well, they didn't score more goals.
Right. That's the literal only thing you have to say. It was just really, really good hockey from Colorado until someone had to shoot the puck.
They're still showing.
Does it still say 2020?
It
That's
still
hilarious.
says 2020 on there.
We're going to get this footage once and only once. And really, I know it's a cliche, and we talk about it all the time where it starts from the top, but Blais, you talked about it. Mikko had 8 shots on goal tonight.
Yeah.
It ends up being Lecky scoring the Avs' first goal.
Talk about somebody like McKinnon steps out. There's kind of a void of you got to go out there and show what needs to be done on the ice. And he's stepped into that position. It's not only just the shots on net, it's the playmaking. It's his forechecking, his hitting. Like, it's all just been times 10 since McKinnon's been gone. And it's good because McKinnon comes back and hopefully he keeps that play up and doesn't just defer to it. He has that feeling.
I really do want to give Mikko credit because I think at times, especially like if you watch the watch along, we got into this a little bit, where sometimes Mikko does try to do that cute shit, and you're like, "That's way too cute, Mikko. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But it's
This
also
is the thing that got me dragged on Twitter.
there's also like the 12 other plays in the game where he's just bawling out and dominating fools. And it's like, yeah, no, he's actually really good at hockey too, even if he gets a little too cute at times. And again, obviously, is the graphic ready? We can just do the graphic now since we're talking about
is he
him.
Go-Go Gadget, by the way, with the stick? The stick is
be.
different size. Like, seriously, it's like...
I feel like the stick is normally that long and it's retractable. It's like an opposite go.
Well, he'll also play with, like, his hand on the blade and his second hand halfway up the stick.
All I'm saying might be coincidence, as he is, of course, our king of the game, involved in both Avalanche goals, which we'll get to.
Yep.
Mikko scored a ton. It couldn't be that Nathan McKinnon's out of the lineup and they need a goal scorer. It's because he hasn't done the sand wedge play. All right? Big brain theory.
Well, and this is my
on the
entire
power play.
fucking point about Mikko Rantanen is look at where he's scoring goals. Look at how his game has changed. Look at what he's leaning into that's driving him as such a monster right now. His playmaking is awesome, but he doesn't have reliable finish around him. So he's doing all the goal scoring, but he's also dominating physically with his size and showing the kind of game that he should be having all the time. Because when McKinnon's around, he falls in love with all the cute shit.
Yeah.
And he ends up with 2 secondary assists because he's the guy that stands down there on a power play and as Makar and McKinnon do some great shit. And like the guy's talent gets lost when McKinnon is around because Mikko defers. Mikko deciding that he's going to be the goddamn man now
And
is
he
the
is.
thing.
Yeah.
Is if there was ever an
Goddamn
argument, if there was ever an argument for breaking up Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen, this stretch should be it, where you see Mikko saying, all right, I'm going to step into the spotlight. I'm going to
Absolutely.
keep it simple. I'm going to make the correct play. I'm not going to do all this like fancy high-end dipsy doodle nonsense, and I'm going to go physically dominate everything in the world.
I disagree with you on one point.
That's because you want to be wrong.
Mikko is not a man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, they need to take... Yeah, it's kind of like what? It's like the 2015 Penguins with Malkin and Crosby, where they start...
Yeah.
Instead of playing them on the same line, they split them up to get more production. And it's kind of that thing, like you were saying, is like, he shouldn't be deferring. That's not his game.
Well,
But he does when McKinnon's on the ice because McKinnon just... That's the game that they've played forever.
Another example of this back in the day was Peter Forsberg on Sakic's left
Yes.
wing diminished Peter
So you
Forsberg's
just
greatness.
split them up.
So they
Yeah.
were best on separate lines where there's not any defense in the world built to just be like, we survived Sakic. Now it's Fopa. There's not any defense in the world that's designed for Nathan MacKinnon to come barreling down the ice at them, him to get off of it, then Mikko Rantanen to come barreling down the ice on the very next shift.
Oh.
There isn't one single defense equipped for that except for maybe Team Canada, and they don't get to play the Avs.
Yeah.
So...
And with the secondary talent that you have in the Avs now, once everybody gets healthy,
Right.
that is two wicked
And this is not
top lines.
this is not a Mikko at center conversation
No.
for me. This is continues to be Mikko's doing all this from the wing.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's played very little time at center this year. Put an Erod, put a Lehkonen with him.
Yep.
You put Landy, you put Nichushkin. You know, you get to
Oh,
split.
that's monstrous.
You get to split up kind of your problem children, and you put adults to be responsible around them, and let the children off the leash.
Yeah.
And say, all right, we'll rein these dudes in when we have to, but
right
otherwise
now,
we're
just
going to
go.
let them run
Yeah.
wild, and we will make up for the defensive stuff along the way.
Wild child.
Because
Love
that's where I think the Avs. This is where, for the first time ever, I'm starting to think. You know, Mikko. If this is how you get Mikko to embrace being this, is to take Nathan MacKinnon away from him, then you keep him on separate lines outside of power plays.
Yep.
Broke the
And-
camera.
You put them on separate lines outside of the power play, and then you put defensively responsible guys around them who can also be guys that play with talent, which
Yep.
we've seen between Nichushkin, Landeskog, Lehkonen, and Rodriguez. They've got 4 guys already that can do it. If they want to go get another one, they can. If they would rather use Comfort than Rodriguez there, I would disagree. But the way that he's played so far this year, you can't really make like a strong current argument for it.
Jonathan
that's-
Taves at 2C.
This is where the versatility comes in. This is the weirdest commercial, dude.
It's very strange. Yeah.
I'm supposed to get struck by lightning, and now I work for Domino's. What the fuck just happened? And so that's where I just don't. I think that this dominance that we're seeing from Mikko can stay.
Yeah.
But these are the lessons that need to be learned along the way.
that you have to give him room to do it.
Yeah.
By the way, whoever's playlist this is, fucking crushing it tonight.
It's very good.
Good. Get him on the sticks more often. Look, the Avs, one theme we started to see with their wins very, very consistently, win the special teams battle.
Yeah.
They score their one on the power play. They kill the one penalty they have to kill tonight.
This is
What a great
where
power play goal too.
Oh, beautiful.
This is where you're like, look, a team that has a talent deficiency somewhere on your roster, when you have an extra guy on the ice, you just have to make that shit count.
Yep.
You've got to bury that, and it's a great play by Mikko
Yep.
because they were buying that he was shooting.
Yep.
That's why the forwards collapsed on him and opened up that passing lane. He did that. He had no intention to shoot that puck. He had every intention to draw the defense in and to put that on Artturi Lehkonen's stick, and it just happened to be a perfect
Everything
fake,
lined
perfect
up,
lane, and a
yep.
perfect pass, and then Lehkonen with the perfect finish.
And the other thing there is from last year to this year, the bumper play. Thank God there's some separation between the bumper play
It's not
now.
the 1 foot pass.
It's not a 1 foot pass anymore. It makes so much more sense. And like you said, on a bumper play like that, that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to draw them to
you're
you
moving the defenders
to open Lucky up in the middle of the ice. And that's exactly what they did.
Worked out perfectly on that one. We are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account. You get $5 bet in on an NHL team to win their next game, and if they do, you get $150 in free bets with that DNVR code. Or you can just follow Blaise's bets. He goes 2 for 3 again tonight, with the Lecky goal being the big money winner for him.
That's what I'm averaging right now, 2 for 3. I'm good with that. That's making money.
You're making money on 2 for 3, that's for sure. So get in on it. You can bet on whatever you want on DraftKings. Of course, doesn't have to be hockey, football, basketball. Someone was betting on lawn darts the other day. So you can really bet on anything over there, I'm telling you. Go check it out. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. And, of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by the people over at... Is it Game Time? I'm pretty sure it's Game Time. It's Game Time. Game Time. also have a
It's
link
gonna be
down
what
in
I
the
say when I go
description.
outside to scrape off the
Yeah,
snow
is
on
it
my
game
car.
time? That's gonna be me the whole way home, trying not to crash, dog. Anyway,
Those. I mean, you're pretty pasty white, but those knuckles are about to be a lot
yeah,
whiter.
they're going all the way white.
Yeah, although they're gonna be transparent.
See through to the veins. Game time, you can use the link in the description like Yaya's showing you right now. Over 15 million people have used it. It helps us out when you go through that link. You can get tickets, obviously, to the Avs, but to any sporting event in the country, basically. You can see where your seats are. They'll show you views of the ice and everything like that. And you can get deals up to 60% off with Game Time. So you get amazing prices no matter what through them. Check them out with that link to Game Time down below, and be sure to download their app. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah, just genuinely dominant. I don't think we ever looked it up, but there had to be like a 15 to 20 minute stretch of hockey where the Avs just did not even give up a shot on goal to Montreal.
I will look it up when I get home. I was gonna go through the event log and see what that stretch was, because it sure felt like 3 shots in 29 minutes or whatever. Like, they locked it down the periods 2 and 3, and kind of in overtime.
It's a little sketchier in overtime.
I mean,
for sure, but
Duran made a great move.
3 on 3 is 3 on 3. Like, you're gonna have a little bit more going on there.
That move is why you give Mikko an adult.
But look, an overtime that actually ends in overtime for the Avs this year. You
Got a row.
The right way with a W.
with
Got
a
a
W.
row.
With a
Not a
W.
row.
You're not wrong.
It's not an RW, but it's a row. You're still climbing.
You take it where you can get it. Georgiev ends up getting a secondary assist. I don't know if he's actually credited. He should certainly get a secondary assist for it.
It wasn't upon first look. But
Let me look right now.
You talk while both of us race to do the same thing.
Makes a fantastic save on
Still
that
not.
Druid move. Mikko recovers from getting torched, takes it up the ice, creates a 2-on-1 with Devon Taves. Mikko Rantanen is just an insanely good shooter. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if there's anyone on the Avs I have more confidence in finishing walking down like that right now. So it's
I don't get it.
Cale Makar on a good day maybe, but his finishing hasn't been great lately. Nathan McKinnon, very, very good player. Don't know if that wrister from the outside of the circle is really his game. AJ, Mikko, best shooter on the Avs by a mile?
Why are you asking me, man?
Because I know you're going to say yes.
Yeah, you know that I've been talking about this for like 2 years, dude.
All I'm saying is it's nice when that's the dude walking in, to have a little bit of confidence in a guy on a team that isn't finishing very well.
I
now.
will tell you, when he walked in, when Taves gave him the puck,
Yep.
I mean, you can watch the watch along. I was like, it's Mikko time.
Yep.
Like, you knew. Like I said it like he's a fucking Ninja Turtle or something. But he just walked in, and you just knew. Like, you knew he was scoring. Like, like we haven't even talked about it, but like, this is a dude that could seriously be challenging Milan Hajduk's,
Yep.
goals. 50 goals.
Yep. It's fun. It's really fun time right
It's
now
special.
for him.
The Avs aren't scoring a lot, but Mikko is. Mm-hmm. He's just okay. Well, I'm just gonna go out and score another goal
And
make AJ look stupid.
that's all it really takes right now for Colorado. Because again, they're playing great hockey besides the scoring. They're allowing themselves to win games 2-1, 1-0. Even if they probably deserve more goals than they've gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you look at expected goals. They had 6 against the Islanders.
Yeah.
Now, they had 26 high danger chances in that game.
A little out of control. Yeah.
When I got home, I was like, that's got to be the highest number in a long time, right?
Nah.
It's not even the highest number this season.
Really?
Yeah.
You forget how good this team is when they're healthy.
That's true.
28 has happened a couple of times league-wide. It's the highest by the Avs in a while. I didn't check all them, but
There you go.
Man, this team is dangerous if they can get healthy.
yeah, I mean, you're talking a team with no Nathan McKinnon, Gabe Landeskog, Bowen Byram, like the team lacking those cats, and they had a game in which they won 1-0 with 26 high danger chances. Like, what? Those guys were the
hockey's weird, man.
You trying to tell me those guys are the difference between 26 and 30 high danger chances? No, it's the difference between 26 high danger chances and no goals, and 26 high danger chances
I think
and 5 goals.
The Avs actually end up with less high danger chances because they scored on a bunch
Yeah, exactly,
of them, bro.
because there was no fucking rebound.
We got a couple of super chats to get to here. $2 from Kevin, who says the Moose got loose.
Yes, he did.
He's just absolutely a
I'm
monster
telling
right
you,
now
he's
for Colorado.
It's no longer a nickname. It is a lifestyle.
You don't choose the Moose life. The Moose life chooses you.
In Soviet Russia.
$2 from Vaguely Sober, who says, Heart DNVR, be safe with the nasty weather out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be gnarly.
If this is our last pod, it was fun, boys.
Same.
Appreciate the thumbs down from the one Habs fan who was hanging out with us today.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Big Habs fan that wanted to talk shit about how boring cities in Canada other than Quebec City were.
I mean, sure.
It's cool, man. All right.
If you say
Tell me all
so.
about it, dude. Just don't tell me that Winnipeg's the most boring city in Canada. There's no way that shit is
That
true.
just can't be true.
You could say it's bottom tier, but
Coldest, maybe.
It's bottom tier.
boring. It's the most boring. I'm sorry, but do they have power in Saskatchewan?
Wow.
Major city
Yeah.
in Canada.
You watch the Yellowstone spinoff. What is it? 1923. That's present day Saskatchewan. I'm kidding. Shout out all my peeps in Regina. I love you guys.
Another $2 from
Pats.
Kevin, who says, Moose Gang. What is a group of moose? What do you call a group of
Moosin'.
moose? Do you really? Is that
No.
real?
No,
Yeah, I didn't
it's
think
Moose
so.
Eye.
It's definitely not Moose Eye. A problem. I
A
love
problem
it.
is
that's
a great
perfect.
answer. That's a great answer.
And another last second super chat, $2 from Ryan saying, local moose in great mood today. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? One more game before the Christmas break?
Yeah, 4-1 at home. Nice little stretch.
Not bad.
I will say, I think the threat of complacency for a team that hasn't had consecutive days off in nearly a month,
Settles in
facing
real quick.
3
yeah.
days off.
Overlooked
on the
that one a
road.
little bit. Yeah.
There's major. They get bopped 6-0. Huge letdown potential. Now, you trust that this Avalanche group has proven a lot of times now, the last couple of years, that maturity-wise, they're on a different level. They take things seriously. But they're also missing a healthy chunk of that leadership group that drives that emotional bus. So I'm just going to say, major letdown potential on Friday. And who cares?
Yep.
A 4-1 road trip or a 4-1 homestand.
You're 6-4-1 in December. You're doing fine.
At the moment, you really don't care about like the Preds having points.
Yep.
They're not like a team that's really on your serious radar here.
Yep. You're pretty much chilling.
And as we learn, as I tweeted out, the numbers for it, Matt Duchene scoring a goal.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
So you gotta get at least 2 on Friday, and I don't know if that's happening.
Well, what'd you say the score was going to be?
6-0.
I said it could be like 6-0. Like
So he'll score the 5th goal. Cool.
All right.
It's true, but wow.
On that dig, we're gonna
I'm
get
just
out of
saying,
here.
I've seen the show before.
Oh my God.
We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. Hope y'all stay safe with all this cold weather as well. We will be back tomorrow with our 1 p.m. off day show. Hope y'all will tune in for that. Until then, we'll talk to you later.